Hello everybody, this is Kiran and today we are going to continue on the MySQL topics. So we'll see what's more that we have to learn in MySQL. So we'll start on with the PPT where we left in the last session. So we have to learn more about the DML statements. We learned how to create a table, insert values into the table, play around with the value, then perform select queries. Then we learned about where clauses, and with where clause how to use logical operators and or, then also comparison operators, equal to, greater than, and everything. So today we'll learn how to delete any row of the table. So rows, as you know, are also called tuples, and the columns are attributes. So columns and rows should be very specifically understood, and only then you can talk about database. So delete query, what delete query is doing, it fetches the row which it has to delete and it removes it from the table. So we have to clearly understand that delete is a DML statement. So select, insert, everything is yet another DML statement. So we'll learn about what DDL, DML, DCL, TCL statements are. But for now, we have to see that delete is a DML statement, and what it is doing is you have to use delete query to delete an entire row from the table. Now, how does this query operate? As in, what is the syntax and how does it operate? We'll see that. So the syntax of the query is delete from table name. So whatever table name we are using, we have to use that name. Then the where condition you're giving. So once you don't give any condition, let's say you just write delete from table name. So this will delete all the data, all the rows from the table, because you're not mentioning which row it has to go and delete, right? So that is the problem if you are not mentioning a where clause. Now let's see how can we use this query into our table. So here is our table. Select star from employee, which is having ID, first name, last name, email ID, address, salary, and department. Let's say we want to delete one of the employees, data of one of the employees. So let's say we delete Kiran Sharma. Now how do we do it? So now let's see how can we use delete query onto our table. So here is our table. We have to run select star. Hang on. So the table is employee. So when we run it, we get the data. Now let's see, we want to delete row number 8, Kiran Sharma. So we want to delete all the data related to this row, to this ID, to this person. So how is the delete query operating? If we write the delete query, it will be like delete from table name. Table name is employee. Where? Then we have to mention the condition. So this delete from table name is letting the query, it searches for the table name, which is employee, then it searches for where ID. So it searches for the column which we are mentioning, and then we are giving the specific column's value, as in we are giving ID equals to 8. So it first went, it is going to the table, then it is going to which column, and then inside that column which particular value. So let's say 8. So it goes to 8, and then whatever data is attached or associated with 8 will be deleted. So 8 Kiran Sharma, kiran.sharma@gmail.com, everything, the entire row will be deleted. So that's how delete query operates. It first searches for the table name, then it searches for the column, whatever condition we have mentioned. So we have mentioned where the column name equals to a particular value. So if we run this data should be removed from this table, and after that, when we again query select star from table name, we should be able to not see this data. So let's see how to delete a row from a table. So for that, we have to run a query which is delete from table name. So we'll write the query delete from table name. Table name is employee, where ID equals to any column which makes or identifies any row uniquely. So ID is we are assuming that it is a primary key here, though we have not set it as a primary key, which the setting of primary key we will be learning in the later sessions. So for now, just imagine that the ID column is one of the unique columns. So we write ID equals to 9. So let's say, here we go. So you can see the syntax of the delete query. It is like delete from table name. So it searches the table in the database, and then we are applying a condition. So if we just write delete from table name, it will delete all the data from the table, which we don't want to. So we want to delete one particular row. So for deleting one particular row, identify that row uniquely. So for identifying uniquely, we need to mention something which is unique about it. So let's say ID. So where ID equals to 9. If we write where name equals to, or first name equals to, let's say Aman, and had there been somebody else whose name is Aman, then both the rows will be deleted. So we don't want that. We have to uniquely identify always. So same what we are doing it here. Delete from table name where ID equals to 9. We'll run this query and we'll see if the row number 9 is deleted. All the data for that particular row will be deleted, right? So let me run this query and we'll again do select star and see that particular row is available or not. So I have run this query. You can see a green tick here on the action output section, and one row is affected also. So what we do, we again run the select star from the employee, and when the table appears, we see that yes, row number 9 is no more available. So I have deleted 2 rows actually. Earlier I have deleted 8 and then now I have deleted 9. So both the rows are no more available now. So that's what delete query is doing. It is deleting any particular row from the table. Going back to the PPT, if you can see here, delete from table name where condition, that is the syntax of the delete query. Now you can see something in bold here. You cannot delete a single column of a table. You can delete an entire row. Yes, if you want to delete one column, you have to not use delete query. In that case, we'll be learning about alter query, which is a DML statement. We'll learn about it later on, but for deleting a single row, you need to apply delete query itself. So we have already done a where clause. So in the where, you can apply all the operators which we have seen earlier, like the comparison operator. Of course, you are using equal to. You can use in operator, as in in, and then you mention 2 IDs, let's say. So where ID in, so 8, 9, so both the rows will be deleted, which include these 2 IDs. So in operator can also be used, right? Now there's something called sorting. So we need to learn how to sort the table on the basis of a particular column. Sorting is important to learn because we need, most of the time in the table or the database, we need to sort things. As in, suppose we want to see the list of the employees on the order or on the basis of their salaries. We want to see people who are getting the highest salary on the top and so on. So we would need sorting to be done. Let's say we want our table to be in alphabetical order. We want the people to be seen in alphabetical order. So we would want that sorting to happen. So sorting is very helpful, and that's done by order by clause. We'll learn how to do it. So we have to simply write select star from. So you can see this looks very complex because there are so many things written here, but this is the syntax of select query, wherein we have to remember always, you have to remember that with select query, you have to first apply the where clause if any conditions you want to apply. And if at all there is group by also, which we will learn later, after the order by, we'll learn group by. So if at all there is group by, the group by has to come after where clause, and the group by is having a clause which is called having. Okay, so after group by there should be having, and then order by should be there. So why this syntax have been mentioned here is because you have to remember that order by has to be the last clause in the entire select statement. If at all we are using group by and order by at the same time, the order by has to be the last one. So this is a very important question also, and very usually confused topic also. So you have to remember that yes, select star from table name where, then if at all you're applying group by, and then the clause of it which is having condition on group by. So having is like, having acts like where of select. So where does the restriction on the number of data set you are getting, right? Similarly, having will also restrict the number of data which you are getting. So anyways, we'll learn about group by and having certainly in detail in the next topic, but for now you have to understand that select star from table name where, group by having, and then order by will be coming into picture. So that is the syntax of order by. We'll use order by into our table and we'll see. So let's go back to our table and we'll apply the order by clause and we'll see how it works. Just give me a moment. Now going back to the workbench, here we go. Let's apply order by on our table based on the salaries. Okay, so select star from table name is employee, yeah, order by salary. Let's run this query. Okay, so now let's see how does this query act. So we'll execute this query and we have written select star from employee order by salary. So if you can see that the smallest salary is on the top and so on. So the entire table got sorted based on one column which is salary. So the person who was having the smallest or the least salary is on the top, and then so on. Now we have to know that ascending order, which is small to or big, which is low to high, ascending order is the default order by, is the default sorting order in MySQL. So if we write DESC descending, then opposite happens, as in you can see this 150000 will be on the top. So I'll just run this query and show you how descending works. So here we go. So it just is the opposite sorting order of the table. So select star from table name order by one particular column will sort that table on the basis of that column which you have mentioned after order by clause. Now you have to remember that ascending is the default sorting order. If you want to sort based on descending order, that is high to low, then you have to explicitly mention the keyword DESC. If you are not mentioning anything, then it will do it ascending. If you write ASC, then it will be the same as that of ascending. Yeah. So if you write ASC or you don't write anything, is the same thing. Okay. So the default is ascending, and if you want to explicitly sort high to low, you have to mention DESC, which is descending. Now this is order by. Now we can try and see the sorting on the alphabets also. So we'll write a new query which will be select star from table name order by first name. So the entire table will be sorted based on the alphabetical order of the names. So we'll just run this query and see what is the result set. Running it here, so you can see the A, which is the capital, first capital A, so we have written all the names in the capital letters. So it takes the ASCII value of the character which is mentioned. Had it been small a, it would have come later because small a has higher ASCII value. So we have to remember that all the name entries should be in the similar pattern what we have used. If it is small letters, then all the entries should be in small letters. Ideally for names, it is first letter is capitals. So you can see it's based on the ASCII value of the capital A, then capital K, and so on. So you can see here the sorting has been done alphabetically. It has not catered to the ID sorting, which is default. It has catered to the first name sorting, And we can do similar sortings as in first name we have done, salary we have seen. We can also do based on the address. In that case, it will take the alphabetical order of the addresses and so on. Okay, so that's about order by. Order by is used to sort any table based on one particular column which we are mentioning. Going back to the PPT, if you just see the examples mentioned here. So you can see here about the ascending and descending keyword, which I have just talked about. Ascending is the default. If you want to explicitly mention, then you have to write DSC, which is descending. And if you don't mention anything, it will take it as ascending. Okay. Okay, that's about the difference between ASC and DESC keywords, which we have already seen. Now we'll quickly go through all the pointers here. So it is used to sort the query, which is ASC, in a top to bottom style, of course, based on small to big, like low to high. That is the ascending order. DSC is opposite. When working on data types, the earliest date is shown on the top. Yes, ascending. In the ascending case, if you're having the data type as date, then in that case, this earliest date, which appeared earliest, will be appearing on the top, and then so on. In case of descending, it will be the present or the most nearest date will be on the top, and then opposite. So that's how descending will work. Now, when working on numeric data type, the lowest value will be on the top. That's very much understandable here, because ascending, the smallest value will be on the top, and then it will be increasing, and descending will be vice versa. String data types, it will be all alphabetical based on the ASCII value that we have already discussed. Here are the syntaxes which we have already seen in our tables. And you have to remember the order by is the last clause which we'll be using even after group by. If at all we are using group by. If we aren't, then it's fine that select star from table name, where condition if at all you want to use. If not, then order by and the condition. So here are some examples mentioned. Yeah, so we have already seen that. Now, that's all for today's session based on delete queries and the order by. In the upcoming sessions, we'll learn about group by. Till then, thank you.